Hey all, Bill Greenberg with PhoneScholar.com. Today is Wednesday, February 9th, 2011. Here's a brief summary of what we got going on the website today. But for the entire articles, please go to www.phonescholar.com and any questions at blog questions at PhoneScholar.com. And today is video day. And what I've done is kind of made it easy on both of us. Is the two articles, the main articles that are on the website, both have 3 videos each, and they all go together. So let's go over it. You'll understand more as I get into it. So the first set of videos, and there's 3 videos, HP launches first run at tablet market. And there was an HP event yesterday, or today, I'm sorry, I don't know, I think it may have been today. And they have video, 2 of them from Techno Buffalo. The first one is from Noah at Techno Buffalo, and then I think John at Techno Buffalo, and the middle one is from Phone Scoop. And I'm sorry, I don't have my own videos because I wasn't there, but that's why I had to borrow from other people. But they are in depth and very well. And the first one shows the HP touchscreen, the new tablet that HP is coming out with. The second one is the Veer, one of the new cell phones, and the third one is the Pre 3, the other new cell phone. So let me go into the touchscreen a little bit. And these are HP products, and they've come out with the HP Web OS, which last year they bought Palm. HP bought Palm and took their OS, their operating system. And for those of you who are not familiar with this, that's the same thing as the Apple operating system, or Android, or BlackBerry. This is or Microsoft, and now this is yet another operating system that was Palm. And HP bought them, but there's no more Palm name anymore. Now they're calling it the HP Web OS. And the touchpad is a 9.7-inch screen, just like the iPad. It has a 1.3 megapixel camera in front. You know what, I couldn't find anywhere to see if it had a back camera, but it does have a front camera for video chat. It comes in the 16 or 32 gigabyte format. It has a dual-core 1.2 processors, which is right now the highest, biggest processor, so the speed on that thing is going to be lightning quick. And the cool thing, a couple of things about it, they didn't give price or anything, they didn't give availability, they're saying probably sometime this summer. They didn't give a carrier either, although they did say the first models are going to be available in Wi-Fi, which means you can use it with any carrier. And then the other ones, the 3G and 4G models, will follow, but they didn't say where it is. But the cool thing, the one thing that I liked, and you'll see in the video demo, is to take out an application, you just flick it off the screen. You don't close it, you don't change screens, you just flick it off the screen, and that's really cool. But the whole thing that they're really trying to do looks like they're going after the business market, because they have what's called the touchpad at work. And that has Quick Office, Google Docs, and Flash Report built into it. So it looks like a really cool tablet. Listen, HP is kind of the last people to the game, so they have a lot to catch up on, but of course if they put out a good product, then people will purchase it. The next thing they had was the Veer, which is a really small little, it reminds me of the Motorola Pebble from a few years ago, but it is a slide-up QWERTY keyboard, 2.6-inch touch screen, 5 megapixel camera, it is a Wi-Fi hotspot available, and that's going to be available this spring, they said. Again, they didn't give any pricing on anything or carriers. And then the Pre 3, which is just like the other, with the Palm Pre and the Palm Pre 2. This is a 3.6-inch screen, 5 megapixel camera. It does have a forward-facing phone for video chat, and this has a 1.4 gigahertz processor. So again, going to be lightning fast and able to multitask very well. So those are going to be their claim to fame. And supposedly HP is also setting up their Web OS to come out on their own PCs. So Microsoft Windows is not going to be the only thing coming out. So we'll see. HP's trying to, again, stay in the market and stay a player. We'll see what happens. The next set of videos is all about the new iPhone, the Verizon iPhone. And these are all from Techno Buffalo, John at Techno Buffalo. The first one he does is unboxing and just shows everything that's in the box. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Compares it to the AT&T box and the AT&T phone. The next one is an actual battle between the Verizon and AT&T iPhones, and this is a really great video because it shows, you know, AT&T has been touting in their commercials the fastest 4G network, or the fastest data network, and it's true. They have a very, very fast data network. There's no two ways about it. Now, some people say it's because they have less customers, so there's not as much area. I don't know technically how that all works. I'm sure there's many of you out there, but even in the tests, you'll see in the speed tests and the download tests, AT&T is kicking Verizon's butt. But on the other hand, especially here in Southern California, AT&T does have a lot of drop calls, and that's why a lot of people are going over to the Verizon. And eventually, when the iPhone 5 comes out on LTE and everything, those speed issues should pretty much go away. So that's it. And then the third video they're showing is about the death grip, and does the Verizon iPhone have the death grip issue also, and unfortunately it looks like it might. Now, the only difference is, and I'll show it on my BlackBerry only because I had it, the way he held it was having to put his thumb all the way on both antennas, because with the Verizon iPhone there's slots on top and on bottom, as opposed to the AT&T, which just had slots on the bottom for the thing. Now if you hold the phone regularly like this and use it like this with one hand and not put the thumb on top, I don't know if it's going to be as much as an issue. He didn't do that because again there's video slots on bottom and top. With the iPhone, when you just held it on the bottom, it still did it. With the Verizon, I'm going to guess it probably won't do it as much, but when he did hold it like this, you'll see in the video, it absolutely does show it. So that could be a concern, something to think about when you're switching over. Okay, so that's it. Under categories, under the Verizon Wireless, and just a couple of weeks ago when I put out the article about the 1G to 4G, and I said the 4G voice is far off in the future, well, once again, the carriers or the companies proved me wrong. Verizon plans voice and video calling over 4G with VoLTE, VoLTE. It's voice over LTE, long-term evolution. And basically what they're doing is they're taking the data portion of that 4G LTE port and doing voice over that. Now, there's a couple of advantages with that. Number one, it will be a much faster, much clearer system because it's using a data network for voice, which is a tremendously fast, tremendously clear system. It'll also take less stress off the 3G system. And I know a lot of you saying, well, wait a second, their LTE is not going to be available everywhere like that. Well, it is also backwards compatible, and supposedly it's a seamless leap back to the 3G if you're in an area where the voice is only in 3G. Rumor is that the LG Revolution, which they showed at CES, may have the VoLTE built into it. That's a rumor. They're saying now that's not true. We won't know that until summer, but it looks like they are definitely getting into it, and that will give them a huge advantage if they get into that first. Next, under MetroPCS, MetroPCS launches LTE Smartphone, and MetroPCS under Samsung Galaxy S, called the Indulge, 3.5-inch screen, Froyo, a 1 GHz processor, 3 megapixel camera, and it will have Iron Man 2 preloaded into it. $399 with no contract. The MetroPCS terms are $40 or $50 or $60 for their LTE plans. They have the LTE rolled out in 13 areas. I did put a link to the coverage map. Some of the bigger areas are Boston, Los Angeles, New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Atlanta, Sacramento. So if you take a look, you'll see the coverage map on there. Coverage is not the greatest in the world. That's one of the drawbacks with MetroPCS is they have these great phones and great plans, but their coverage is not as wide because there's a reason why they can offer these things at this price. They don't have the infrastructure and the money to build out the structures like AT&T, Verizon, and the other ones. So take a look and see if it's something. If you're on MetroPCS, it's a good deal for you. And lastly, AT&T Mobility to offer unlimited calls to any mobile device. And this kind of follows on the heels. Sprint has been doing this for a while, and they're masters at it. Verizon has it rolled out in a sort of form in some areas. It starts tomorrow, so if you're on AT&T, you can switch over to that, and that way get unlimited calling to any other mobile device, which is a really good deal. That's all I got for today. Hope you enjoy the videos, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.